ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Third Man Podcast, presented by yours truly. This has been a long time coming. This is a really incredible endeavor that I'm really happy that I got to go on in my career, and I hope this is the start of something special. But with that, who better to kind of carry us into this next chapter of things, other than, of course, my two wonderful guests, Dyln and KoopaTroopa. Boys, how we doing?
Doing great. It is a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me on here. It is awesome to see this start. Be the first people on
Uh
the Third Man
Absolutely.
podcast.
huh.
Come on, baby.
So hyped. Can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, it's an honor to have y'all, and I'm glad that we finally get some real yappers in here.
Oh,
I'm
baby.
sure this is going to be the start of many hundreds of episodes of yapping, but of all the people to yap the most, I trust y'all to do it. So without further ado, let's just hop right into things. It's officially 9 o'clock on a Sunday, which, if you know where you're going to be, you're here on twitch.tv/DJTJRL.
Why would you be anywhere else?
Exactly, and if you're listening to this from Spotify or Apple Music and you're not here during the live show, you're missing out. So definitely follow the Twitch. That's DJTJRL. And yeah, let's hop right into it. So Dyln, I'm gonna start with you since you're kind of the first one on the camera on the left. So give us a little taste about who you are, what you do, and yeah.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. As he said, my name is Dyln. That's my gamer tag. That's my everything. I just go by me because all of me is all that matters. No, I'm joking. But I play Rocket League for Georgia State currently. It's been it has been an interesting journey for me. I didn't even know Rocket League had a or not Rocket League. Hey, I didn't know GSU had a team, but I found out about them. Met some awesome people. Met some dope people. Had some great times, and I'm a big yapper. I'm a big yapper about the game. I love the game. I love the hustle.
Yeah.
I love the game, and I don't know. That's all there is to it.
Heck yeah. All right, Coop, that goes to you.
I'm KoopaTroopa, also known as Cooper IRL. Journalism major here at UGA. Just transferred last summer, and TJ and company got me right. Uh, except for my camera, we'll have to get a better one for next time.
It's getting there. It's getting there. It'll
It'll
be all
work
right.
It's a
I'm
little
sure.
bit, a little bit grainy, but we'll work through it.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be all right. Um, Shout out to Twitch chat live here, by the way. They're so nice to me. They're telling me to mute my mic. Obviously, they do not want to hear me. But I believe audio levels should be good. So definitely chat. Let me know if there's any issues. But okay, so I'm actually gonna turn my microphone up real quick. Hopefully, it won't blow anybody's eardrums out. But yeah, okay. So now I'll fix it. Now I should be good. Hopefully, I won't blow out y'all's eardrums. I think we're okay. All right, let's go ahead and get into things. So, Dyln, hailing from Georgia State University. Koop, obviously from UGA, the best university in the state of Georgia. Sorry, Dyln.
All right, let's not start with that, okay? All you guys got is football.
All right. Hold on now.
Hey, softball.
Hey, you right? You right?
Name 5 softball players from UGA right
Libby
now.
Dunn.
Dude.
LSU gymnastics, bro. Ellie Armistead, Lindy Ray.
Hey, our basketball team's in the NIT.
Jada Kearney.
Our basketball team's in the NIT.
That's true. That's true.
So
all right, bro, whatever.
we out here. We out here. Anyways, that's
I
not the point. That's not the point. All right, look, we're here because both of y'all are collegiate Rocket League players. Shout out Neon for the gifted sub, by the way. Y'all are both collegiate Rocket League players, and so one of the main things I want to kick this off with is we are all collegiate Rocket League players. I want your story about how you got into Rocket League, and then from there, kind of how you ended up where you're at in the position you're in, and we'll elaborate from there. So, since Dyln got the intro, we'll let him keep it going. All right, Dyln, kick us off.
All right, so way back in 2016, I was a wee legit, and my stepmom was like, "Hey, let's get you an Easter present," and so she bought me Rocket League because it was $5 on Xbox. It was like hella on sale, and I was like, "Wow, it's cars and soccer. It's brilliant." So I played it a little bit. I still was in love with like Forza and Minecraft at the time, and then around 2020, right at the start of the pandemic, I got like a really shit laptop. It was really bad, but it could run Rocket League on maybe 45 frames. And I used to play on an Xbox 360 controller on my 45 frames. And I just played the game. I loved the game. And then come around 2021, I got a gaming laptop, started taking the game more seriously. after I had been playing on console for like, I don't know, 500 hours to this point. I had maybe peaked like champ one. Hopped on PC, started grinding, made it to Grand Champ a few months later, and kind of hovered there for a while. I was on and off with the game, dabbled in other games, Siege, Valorant, Apex, etc. Um, and then around August of my freshman year at Georgia State, I queued into a ranked game and I played against Bodie. And if any of you guys don't know who Bodie is, Bodie was a senior at Georgia State who was the captain of the Rocket League team. And he had GSU in his club name. And I was like, GSU? I go there. Wait a minute. And so I asked him, I was like, hey, Georgia State has a Rocket team? He's like, yeah, of course. And let me get you the information on that. Sign me up. I got in touch with Buddy, with Shady and Monk, met the boys. They're like, all right, you can be our sub. Because at that point, I was still pretty ass. And, I was just starting out to all that. I knew nothing about the collegiate scene. But since then, I've been grinding. I just hit like 3K hours a little bit ago, hit my peak last season, hit a call 1800. So, just been grinding, doing my thing, having fun with the game, love the game, and it's awesome, man.
Heck yeah. Chat loves the Buddy RV mention. I'm also a big Buddy RV fan, so I also like that mention.
Buddy.
I'm sure he'll be on this podcast either next week or the week after. But shout out Buddy RV. All right, Koop. So that goes to you and your Rocket League kind of journey going into where you are now.
So my older brother got me into the game. He in 2016, established 2016, got that tag. And I didn't get to play the game a whole lot at first. Was playing on PS4 like every other weekend, and then eventually I was able to start playing every weekend. And by the time I got to college, I was like champ 2-ish, which was in August of 2020. But I built myself a gaming PC, so even though it had just gone free to play and you could no longer get the game on Steam, I got myself a Steam access key because I wanted to do custom maps and all that stuff, which wasn't available for Epic Games yet. And so I've been playing on Steam since then. And I didn't. I watched and absorbed a lot of Rocket League content. Watched all the RLCS since season 1, and watched a good bit of CRL. And a couple of different YouTubers trying to absorb all the content to get better. But I didn't actually start getting better probably until this past summer, and when I transferred to UGA. And after I spent 3 years in North Georgia not playing for them, I came over here and started playing. Started on the B team in the fall. And then some stuff happened with the A team here at UGA. And
yeah, we'll get into that. Don't worry.
now I'm like signed my 10-day for the A team. So
heck yeah. Sign the 10-day. So, Koop, one thing I want you to touch on too is a little bit about y'all that I don't think y'all got to really talk about was what are you doing at your school? Because obviously this is more than just about you as a Rocket League player. So I'm gonna throw it back to you, Koop, and I want you to kind of talk about like what you're studying, where you want to be. Is esports a part of that? Is it not a part of that? I just kind of want to hear a little bit about your vision for what's coming.
So right now I am a journalism major trying to get into Grady.
That's the UGA College of Journalism to fill in everybody at home.
And I've been doing some work here and there with different papers and trying to just build my resume as far as like sports reporting goes, because I've been setting my sights on becoming a sports reporter or a sports broadcaster, something like that. Esports is definitely in the question, and getting involved here at esports at UGA has definitely helped that. Because last semester I got to do a couple of different streams for, I think it was primarily just for their Rocket League's A team, but it's been a lot of fun, and I hope there's a way that I can kind of bring it all together, because I love Rocket League and I like, I love esports, so I definitely think that that's somewhere that I would keep myself open to in the future.
Yeah, 100%. Me and you are both kind of similarly in the sports world. I mean, obviously, people know I picked up casting recently, That's obviously been incredible. It's blown up, and so I definitely kind
Oh
of
yeah,
share the same vision. But it's a very hard field to get into, and this is
yeah,
probably something that we'll touch on another episode of this podcast. But working in esports is very hard compared to getting a job in sports, and so definitely wishing you the best. I already know the troubles you've had as a transfer student, and so I definitely hope there's going to be less of that. But this is about me. It's about Dyln and Koop. So, all right, Dyln, a little bit more about what you want to do, where you want to be. I know you have transfer plans, but you're just a freshman, so I'm intrigued to hear a little
Yeah.
more about if you know what you want to do or where you are in that.
So currently freshman, as you said, go to Georgia State. I major in accounting at the moment. It is what both my parents do. Well, my mom and stepdad, they both do it, and it is something that is I wouldn't say easy, but it is something I feel confident that I'll be able to attain and be a high level at. And me, my philosophy with like my future, I just want to be able to buy what I want when I want, not on like a millionaire type level, but like if I want to, I don't know, put down a few year plan on a new Mustang, I want to put a few year plan on a Mustang. Like I just want to be able to be financially sound with whatever I got going on family wise. I am gonna get a cat. That is in the future, 100%. I will
Cats
be
over
getting a cat.
dogs, officially?
I have to say officially, even though
Ooh,
I've
I
owned
back that.
dogs
I
my
back that.
entire life,
really?
I like cats, man. They
Dang.
they just
They're chill.
they're so cute, man. I love them. But and yeah, as you mentioned, transfers are looking very very prominent because Georgia State wasn't my first choice, but it was definitely like a school that I was like, yeah, I can rock with. I can rock with Georgia State. And my time here has been awesome so far. Well, I'd say awesome. Everything except the classes wise. See, I go to a perimeter campus, and it is boring. Snooze fest. There is no fun, no happiness anywhere, bro. I've seen 5 conversations ever on that campus. It's bad. So I've been wanting to transfer for a while, anyways. Top list being Kennesaw, of course, UGA as well, and ironically North Georgia. Those are being my main kind of options at the moment. But just kind of want to get through this first year, see where second semester takes, or not second semester, but second year takes me, and I don't know, just I'm kind of go with the flow. Whatever happens, happens for a reason, kind of guy. So
That's the realest thing I've ever heard.
what can I
Definitely,
say? I
I
was
feel
born
the
with it,
same
bro.
way about everything happens for a reason. I mean, I know that we've all had our fair share of issues and stuff that's happened, and I mean, I know my childhood for sure wasn't incredible, and we still ended up here, we still make it here. So yeah, I agree with that. Everything 100%. Yeah, we're all gonna throw our hands up at the same time, aren't we? Everything happens for a reason. I really love that philosophy. I definitely agree with that. But yeah, all right. So we kind of get the idea of what you want to do academically, kind of where y'all want to be. So in terms of with Rocket League now, where do you see yourself in the future with Rocket League? Granted, like, hey, like after senior year, are you done, or is it going to be a part of maybe something you want to do more than that? And I'm gonna throw it to Dyln.
So ideal, perfect scenario is I go through collegiate. Because I love the game. I literally play this game every day. I have seen literally the beginning and up to now. Like I love this game, and one thing I've always wanted to do was be on like a team that genuinely like wants to win, wants to grind, wants to be the best, and even like and people who like really really want it, and not to say that they want it to be their whole life, not at all, but I do want to be with people who like are like very active towards their goal with that. And so I see myself just trying to find that as best as I can. And not to say that Georgia State hasn't been. I mean, like I love the guys over at Georgia State. We've been awesome. We've had a lot of fun this year. We've been to two lands as a freshman team. And people who we were basically a pickup team.
Probably will
And
make two more too.
we
I'd
probably
imagine.
yeah, we're working on that. We're ideally we make the other two as well. Um, but I want to find a team and really hone in on that and see how far that goes with that. I mean, past college, um, a super awesome scenario would be I work for either Psionics or Epic or something, and can take my accounting major and business major and all that, not major but degree, and kind of find somewhere in the gaming world, because I know that's something I'm passionate about, and I would love to be able to combine the work aspect with my hobby in not an unhealthy way to where it becomes my hobby becomes work or vice versa. Um, but just to find a healthy balance with that. I'll probably play Rocket League until my bones don't work anymore. I'll probably be telling my kids that I could whoop their ass at Rocket League, and I probably will.
On God.
But that's the ideal scenario. I hope that's what comes to fruition.
Yeah. I definitely have gone back and forth with that personally, for sure, and I'll save my thoughts till after Koopa talks. But all right, Koopa, you are obviously on the whole opposite side. So Dyln's a freshman. You are in your 4th year of college, technically. Obviously, with the way transferring works, it's not your senior year technically, but
Nope.
but since you do still have a few more years, I'm intrigued to see how you feel about that.
Well, as long as I'm in college, I'm gonna play. Whether that's on an A team, a B team, or a C team. Just it's a lot of fun. I'm a competitive person. This is something that objectively I'm pretty good at, so I'm gonna keep doing it until at least until I get that degree. And if I do grad, I'll probably do it when I'm doing grad. Um, I mean, you're right. I do still have a little bit of time left transferring. It it does some stuff to you, so um, I got a little bit of time to figure it out. But after college, I think I want this game to stay in my life. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to put in as many hours as I have been the past couple of years and as I am right now. But staying connected with the esport at the very least, keeping up with it. But I could dabble in a little broadcasting or something like that for Rocket League.
You could even say it's probable.
Oh, for sure.
How did we
Oh,
already bring that in?
we're
here?
gonna have to fill the guests at home in on that one. Yeah, I mean this group of 3 is interesting. So for those of you at home, this is Unc, Coop, and Tito. This is the rank 3 stack that's been going on for the last couple weeks. I mean, this is a group that we all didn't even really meet each other, like, actually, until this semester. And so that kind of goes to my next point, is especially for Coop, I'm intrigued to hear, where does Rocket League play into your social life? And, like, for example, like I've talked plenty of times, and I'm gonna do it in my TED Talk on Friday. Gotta plug that. I'm gonna talk about how
Yes,
Rocket League
sir.
affects my life, and that's why I'm not gonna touch on it too much here. If you need tickets to the TED Talk, by the way, that is tedxuga.com. Go check that out. Um, but I'm intrigued to hear kind of where Rocket League plays into your life, kind of where it fits for you, and especially like for you, Coop. Obviously, transferring in your words, you said it does stuff to you. So I'm intrigued to hear if Rocket League's been a help in all
For
that.
sure.
So I'll throw it back to you and let you go off.
Oh yeah, it's definitely helped. Transferring so I played Rocket League as a hobby more so in North Georgia. It was just like a thing that I could do um when I had downtime, when I was stuck in my dorm because I did start college while we were in COVID. And so at first it was just go to your class if it's in person and then go to your room and don't leave. Otherwise, you're probably going to die from COVID. That was kind of the vibe. Um, Now that I'm here, I didn't really have a bunch of people that I knew when I got to UGA. And so one of my roommates was on the A team at the time, Wheeled Broom. I'm sure he might be on this stream in the future. We'll see.
Shoot,
We'll see.
we will see.
Um, but he's my roommate right now, and he was like, "Yo, I'm playing for the school. Would is that something you would do?" I was like, "Shoot, hell yeah, I'd do that." And I was like, "Well, get me in the server," and he was like, "All right, I got you." And then so I started meeting some people. Got my team from last semester on the B team. My my bro Alamo, shout out Alamo,
Shout out Alamo.
and now I got TJ. Gotten a lot closer to you through my interest in casting and just helping out with the A team, and then now being obviously on the A team.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Rocket League is helped me tremendously in getting comfortable here at UGA.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned getting comfortable, because Dyln, as a freshman, going into a city like Atlanta, being in the heat of it in Georgia State. I'm intrigued to hear kind of how it's been for you in terms of adjusting socially. I know that you and your friends play a lot of games, and I don't think all of y'all are at Georgia State, correct?
No,
So
we are
games
not.
obviously still helps y'all stay connected, but what has
For
Rocket League
sure.
specifically done?
So, in all honesty, I feel like if I didn't meet Bodie in that ranked game, I'd probably have a very different perception on college as a whole, because I had the luxury of meeting three really dope people, my teammates, and shout outs Buddy RV, shout out Shady, shout out Monks Jr. Bruh, these people are dope as hell. Like they are just fun people to be around. They're great players, and like finding people who shared the passion that I do for a game that is as niche as Rocket League. Because in the grand scheme of things, if you tell somebody you play video games, you'd be like, "Oh, what do you play?" And I'd be like, "Oh, I play Rocket League." They're like, "Oh, what's that?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's car soccer." And they're like, "Oh yeah, I play Minecraft and Roblox." It's like, you see, there's just no connection there, because it's like I don't know what to talk to you about with this.
You right?
But so meeting them has given me awesome opportunities. Like, I mean, firstly, meeting TJ, right? Meeting TJ, let me meet Koop. I meet a whole bunch of people. Like, it is awesome. I've been to lands, and I've met so many figures in the community that I was like, I just never meet these people. It's crazy. Like, to me, somebody who's watched RLCS for a super long time, getting to meet somebody like Tikaro in such a casual environment at a dinner place at what, Senior
We
Frogs?
went to Senor Frogs in Myrtle Beach with
Senior
T.
Frogs
Carell,
in Myrtle
Polar, and
Beach.
Nex. Yeah.
Crazy crossover for me. That's like, it's been a dream come true for me, honestly. I've just always wanted to be somewhat of a figure in uh that somebody could look at and be like, "Oh, I know that guy." And getting to meet people like that was awesome, and just having friends in general through Rocket League has been great. I've met some awesome people, had some awesome memories, and I couldn't be more thankful for it.
Yeah, and speaking of that, we're gonna kind of break into our next segment of this of what it's been like for y'all being former substitute players or not being on a team, like in Coop's case at UNG, which we won't get into that. but being substitutes and then coming up through the ranks, kind of through the rubble that is collegiate Rocket League, and then finding yourself on a starting roster. Also, Alamo's in the chat, so shout out Alamo once
Shout out
again.
Alamo.
Yeah.
My goat.
Again, if you're listening to this from Spotify or Apple Music and you're not in the live podcast, you're missing out.
What
Which
you
we will have open questions from chat at the end of this, so y'all definitely have your questions ready. We'll have a section for that. But let's break into our next thing. So, as substitutes, many duck out or many lose their passion for the game. And what I'm really intrigued to hear is how you guys kept your passion. And like for example, like for you, Coop, you were playing on the B team. For Dyln, he was just the sub, and that was it. So I'm intrigued to hear y'all's perspectives on what it's like being in that next up role, but still having the confidence and the time and the effort and the mentality to grind it out. So I'm gonna start with you, Coop, because I think your story is a little simpler than being stuck in like a fourth man role. But
Yeah.
but yeah, go for it, Coop.
So yeah, like Dylan kind of met the right people, as he said, when he to like get into the GSU team. That's the only reason I didn't play when I was at UNG's, because I didn't meet the right people. But then I got here and I was able to, thankfully, UGA had a bunch of different people at the time last semester that were interested in Rocket League. And so we had multiple different teams. And so I was able to slide in on that second team. And so that was a lot of fun. And I had a great captain in Alamo. I'm not glazing. He is actually a great captain. And he helped me get get acclimated, like start to really understand the competitive side of Rocket League, because as competitive as ranked is or as six mans can be, it's not the same as playing week in and week out with the same guys in a league setting or something like that, or in tournaments or qualifiers and stuff like that. So Alamo really helped me out there. And then um my time as a sub, because last semester I wasn't really the sub, I was just on the B team. This semester I was a sub for, I guess it was like what, until earlier this month. So I spent about 2.5 months as a sub for the A team, and I wanted to be on that top team because that's an opportunity to play with better players, play for money, get to go to lands and stuff like that. All of the things that I really want to do with Rocket League are available on the A team. So it actually kind of helped me stay passionate and even maybe enhance my passion for the game. And now I'm starting getting my shot. So it's been really helpful, even though it
Yeah.
was a super short stint.
Yeah, I mean, I've been really impressed with the dedication. I mean, me and you've talked about this for a while. I mean, it's hard to find dedicated players in Southeastern
Oh yeah.
Rocket League, and I say Southeastern just because of the way that our programs are underdeveloped on the majority side of things. And so to have a player who's dedicated, I mean, I'm at the point in my career where I don't really care about the rank anymore. Like, I mean, if someone's champ 3 or higher and they simply want to put in hours, I mean, you've earned your spot over a player who was on the A team and traveled with us all last year. And shout out Harry, and Harry's like a semi-professional spike ball player, and so he hasn't had a lot of time, but it's all love, and you just simply have earned your role. And I know we've been grinding a lot of rank threes till 3 a.m. the last few days, and so
Been on that
those
grind,
sessions,
baby.
like we've been putting in hours, and you specifically,
Loving
I can
those.
tell. Yeah, and so it's huge, and I'm glad that we got to put you in a situation where we finally got to see what you could do. I hate that it took so long, and I hate that we got knocked out of SEL for it. But we live and learn, and hopefully UGA will make Volan, and that'll be like our revenge tour. But we'll
Oh,
see.
for sure.
So
Y'all boys will be there for
that's
sure.
gonna be that's less than a week, by the way. That's a Saturday qualifier. That is this coming Saturday. So we are going to be, I will be TED talking, and then we will be qualifying the next day. Hell yeah.
Hey,
So
don't forget GEL land too, because we're gonna
yeah,
make that.
we're still cooking for that. We got to hope on a few things, but we're going to give it a shot. But yeah, so all right, Dyln, that comes to you. So I'm
All right,
intrigued to
everybody.
hear because you've been in it for the long haul, even though you're just a freshman.
I have been. Everybody grab a snack, get comfortable, because we about to tell a story. All right. So as I mentioned before, whenever I met all the guys on the team, I sucked. I was barely Grand Champ 1. I had no game sense. I had never heard of any collegiate teams. I was cooked, to say the least. And all I knew is that I love playing the game. And I wanted to get better because being a substitute is cool and all, but I want to play. Like I want to compete. I've literally been wanting to compete for so long, since I started playing the game. And so that drive to always improve and always get better has always been an attribute for me no matter what game I play, but it just really sticks out in Rocket League. I mean, like I if and none of y'all know, but when I play a game, I play to be the best I can be at it. And that applies to everything.
On God.
And so having the opportunity to see a realistic goal of potentially playing on the A team as a main player was always something that was on the forefront of my mind. I literally would put in like 80 hours every 2 weeks, grinding mechanics, grinding twos, grinding threes, playing ones, watching rotational videos, RLCS to figure out haptics, just like absorbing all the information I could to really improve. And playing especially with Shady, he gave me a lot of advice. It's a love-hate relationship, you know. It's sometimes he's a tough teacher, but other times he's like a perfect, like, just like, here's what you need to do better. And he's somebody that I could learn a lot from, and it helped a lot. Evidently, seeing as I'm now a starter on the roster. um but getting to travel to the bluegrass land with the boys, even not as a player, just being their coach, their mental coach, being there with them was dope. And like those kind of moments were just stuff that I live for, stuff that I grinded for, and it really it's paid off a bit, in a bittersweet way, I guess.
Yeah, I'm
But
gonna butt in real quick. So, I personally, when I saw your role at in Kentucky in Lexington, I felt like that your coaching role at that land was a pretty fair reason as to why you got the chance to get that spot. I'm intrigued to hear what you think about that.
so I agree with you, to an extent, because like you said, I hold a mental role for the guys. I'm somebody that's very passionate, and I talk a lot, but I also think a lot about the game. I'm very analytical with what I watch, and I talk to tell the boys like, hey guys, this is what's working, this is what's not. I was coach essentially, and because of my level-headedness and ability to interpret the game as well as I could, I was able to provide a lot of help and information for the guys, and they valued that. Like they told me that it like genuinely helped them, and it wasn't just me trying to like fake my role. Like they really appreciated that, and for the most part, even now, except for a few exceptions, I tend to keep that role. I keep the mental up, keep the boys in check, keep us locked in. Of course, everybody has their moments, but for the most part, I try to fill that role, try to keep that image up of being the mental coach, being that rock, I guess, if that makes sense. At least mentally. I don't know about mechanics, but mentally, I can definitely feel confident in that.
Yeah, and one thing I also want to hear your experience of was what happened when you finally got to start, and then within a week of you starting, you had to travel to Myrtle Beach and play in front of a hangout venue, which was a very interesting experience. I want you to definitely talk a little more on what your first LAN was like, especially since Koopa's first LAN is probably coming up in about a month, I
Mhm.
hope.
Yeah, for sure. Y'all boys should be there. Um, yeah, that was a really hectic week, and it was definitely filled with a lot of emotional turmoil. Um, I gained my starting position in a almost at the expense of someone else, and I say that because while I had been putting in a lot of work and a lot of hours with the game, I had just hit a new peak in rank. um, Buddy had not been putting in the same amount of time as I had, which again, I bring up earlier. It is not your job to live, breathe Rocket League. If you have other things in your life that you want to do, by all means, focus on that. Like we're in college, your life shouldn't revolve around a video game unless you truly are passionate about it that way, and that's what you want to do. And so, not that I had like any shame in him for that. Like I respect it, but of course, the team felt more confident having me on the roster instead of him, and I still feel a little bad for that because like I still understand that like you put effort in. Still, it may not be as much, but you're still a good player, and you still put in effort and to kind of get your spot taken kind of relatively soon compared to them because I think it was maybe 2 days before the land that we like finalized what the roster was, and being someone who was in the sub position, who was at the land last time, just watching, even though I had been putting work in, I kind of related to him with that way, and I felt pretty bad about it. But you know, besides that aspect, the land was awesome. Land was really fun. I met a lot of dope people, had a lot of dope memories. The boys hit the beach. We were just
Yeah,
having
we
a
did.
great time.
Yep.
We hit the beach. We were loud. I definitely still hold that USC series in high regards. I mean, it was just fun. We were having a great time. I had my goat TJ Caster for me, and
Yeah, talk a little bit about
and
about that because that was your
about your
first.
cast.
That was your no. Well, that was your first main stage experience, right?
It
So
was.
talk a little bit about like more in detail about that.
I mean, I'm gonna say this until I stop competing, but I am a main stage. I'm a stage performer.
Oh
All
my
right. When
god.
the lights shine somewhat bright, I step up to the. No, I'm joking. But whenever I can get loud, when I can get energetic, when I can get fired up, it is the most fun. It's some of the best I will play because the confidence like flows through everything. It is amazing, and being on that stage, I was just in the mentality of like, I gotta show out. I gotta perform. Like I got people watching. I have expectations for myself. I have expectations for my team, and I'm going to fulfill those standards. And what I do? Did I drop a hat trick? I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know
you
what I
went
did, but I
three
cooked.
for six against a roster with an RLCS player, a professional coach, and Solar, who's also very talented.
Yeah. I almost dropped a clip too. Shady stole my goal, but that's okay. Um, Regardless, it was an amazing experience. It was super fun. And the cherry on top of that was when these two kids named Jake and Liam, one was 9, one was 7, they came over to me afterwards and they were like, I want to practice so I can play like you. And I was like, I'm about to cry.
True
Like
story. True story.
it was genuinely one of the most
That's
heartwarming
dope.
moments of my entire life. Like literally me as a kid watching pros play, and now some kids are coming up to me wanting to play like me. It was genuinely sensational, and even though we went out earlier than we wanted to, it was still an awesome land. We had a great time. The guys we were definitely not like as torn up about. I mean, we lost to Harrisburg, which Harrisburg is T. Corral, in case anybody doesn't know. So we were up against it, to be completely honest. But we had a great time. It was a super fun experience. I got to be loud. I got to show out. I got to do my thing. The boys got to do their things, and it was an amazing experience. I was glad I got to play.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun. That was one of my most interesting events as a player or a coach or a caster. It for those of you who aren't familiar with the hangout, it is right on the boardwalk on Myrtle Beach, so it's a very high traffic area, and it was 6 computers in the dead middle of the dining room. So you probably got 100 people around you who are just as intrigued in the game and screaming and yelling. And like Dyln mentioned, like there were kids who were like audibly excited to watch Rocket League as they were eating dinner on vacation. It was incredible. I do want to throw out a big shout out to Syracuse and Shenandoah and all the people who made that come together.
They put on a dope event.
Yeah, the production team, that was Sean and his team. They did a great job. Obviously, Nikita and Xander did a great job from the casting side of things. And then also shout out Alyssa, who did all the TOing. So that team is incredible. And there's a reason why that event got nominated for an esports award last year. And this year was even bigger and better. So I hope it gets awarded or gets nominated and awarded this time, because it's incredible. And again, we had kids coming up to players, and I watched those kids come up to Dyln, and it was one of the coolest things I've probably ever seen in my career. And so it was awesome to see, and it was really cool. It was an awesome land, and for that to be your starting debut, that was incredible. So that kind of I'm glad that y'all kind of brought that up. So now let's talk about where we're at in the season. So we are obviously, it is March 24th at the night that we're recording this. Most collegiate seasons have already ended or are in the process of ending. Both of y'all compete or competed in the Southeastern Esports League and the Georgia Esports League. So I want to hear a little bit about what it's meant to you once you started and competed in those games. And we're going to take it from there. So I'm going to throw it back to you, Dyln.
Well, to not yap too long, because I want to hear from Koop. He ain't got too much he deserves. But Southeastern League has been a roller coaster, seeing as Georgia State we haven't lost yet, but we have yet to beat the group stage allegations. We were first in our group this split, and then last split we were either second or first.
You were first. You were first last split.
So we were first in our group both splits, and we went out 16th in playoffs both splits. Well, we haven't gone out yet, but we are in losers bracket right now. So it has been a roller coaster, to say the least, but we are locking in for this last SEL series that we're going to play. And for Georgia Esports League, has been a whole different story. We kind of feel like two of the untouchables in that aspect. Like we're fairly confident in that aspect. It's been fun. It's definitely been very fun. We played a lot of teams with a lot of different rosters. I wish I recorded comms more, because there was just a lot of fun yelling and bantering. Not bantering, but it's fun. It's really fun to play in those two leagues. But yeah, it's been a good time, and hopefully we can make it before I get to this Southeastern League land. I'm fairly confident we're getting to this Georgia Esports League land. We'd have to have some insane luck on the other side to not have us make it. So
yeah, one thing that I'm intrigued to hear your opinions on is that y'all, from the math that I did, y'all basically have to make a top 6 run. And if you look at the bracket, you are going to be on the same side as UAH Blue, the loser of FAU USC, and the loser of FSU Cumberland. And those are all teams. Like if Cumberland loses to FSU, which they're currently down 2-0, so I'd imagine they'll probably lose 3-0. If they drop down, which they actually just won game. Wait. It's actually being reported. It's 2-2 right now. So, live report. Cumberland just 3-2'd Florida State in upper bracket. So now that leaves UAH, and the loser of FAU USC has to play Cumberland, and then if y'all make it through, you will have to play the winner out of those 3 teams to make it into top 8. or sorry, in the top 6. So that is live update, and might as well hear your thoughts on that.
Uh, well, not. Let me not say that. There's no one there. There is no one in the league that we can't beat if we're all on, and I stand by that. We have 3, 4. Well, technically, all 4 of us are insanely mechanical. I wouldn't say insanely mechanical. We're good players. We're great players, and when we're on, we click in a way that people don't expect us to. We go for things that people just do not think that we will do, and that brings a level of unpredictability, and it brings a new level to our game. The problem is that we got to figure out how to do that on command. Currently, at the moment, we feel like Miles Morales in the very beginning of Spider-Verse could not do anything cool on command. We could do it, just can't do it on command. But I feel like we should be fine, honestly. In all honesty, I feel like, especially if we can make it through top 6, beating those teams, that makes a statement in itself. That like, nah, we're here to play. We're not down and out of the count yet. Like we're here to make a statement. We can make a statement. We did make a statement, and we're gonna take it from there. But we got to get there first, and that means Arkansas has to reply to us and actually play us. So guys, please,
shout out Arkansas.
We're waiting.
We won't get into the UG Arkansas rivalry. That's been one that's been going on for the last year, especially with our B teams. But anyways, we're not gonna touch on that. So funny enough, so that right there. Out of all 3 of y'all, I believe whoever makes it out of that alive, not Florida State, they're confirmed because they won last year, or last semester. Out of USC, and UAH, I believe whoever makes it out of that alive will clinch the 8th seed, because Kentucky is in top 6, so they should clinch the 7th seed. And Bruton Parker has already they're pretty much gonna probably make top 3, so they're gonna knock everyone down. So it'll probably, I think it's gonna be y'all 3 competing for that 3rd seed. Or that last seed, I mean. So we'll see. So we'll be watching that live this Wednesday. If y'all are not familiar with the Southeastern Esports League, I am the host this semester. So 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern time. Be there. We have a lot of fun. We get some great games, and now we're in playoffs, so it's gonna get even better. So go support that for sure. Obviously, I see UARC memes in the Twitch chat, so I'm not going to comment on any of that. But anyway, so, all right, Koop, that goes to you. I know that you kind of got the starting role later than Dyln, but I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts on the Georgia Esports League and the SEL and your experience with it.
So before I get into SEL and GEL, I'll start with the first tournament that I actually played with the A team, which was the qualifiers for Bluegrass, which were devastating the way that they ended. But to stay like more positive, you could see, I think you probably agree with this, TJ. You could definitely see both my growth and the team's growth from Qual 1 to the end of Qual 3, even though we didn't make it. Because Qual 1 we went 0-2, Qual 2 we went 1-2, and then Qual 3 probably should have qualled, but we went 3-2.
Yeah, we were 2 series away.
We were. I won't get into it. I already relived it enough times. But yeah, so that was like my introduction to high level play. And it was I wanted more of it, but I was sitting in the sub role at the time, so I was just waiting, and I made sure I was at every match that we had, even though I wasn't expecting to play, just so that, if something happened, I would be there. And, even if nothing happened, I could still help and like coach or, keep the mental up, that sort of thing.
As you should.
I don't think I played an SEL game, if I remember right.
I don't think you got maybe one. I think you played the UTK White or the UAH White series, maybe. I'm not sure. I believe you subbed in for one of them, but I could be wrong. One thing too, I'm gonna halt this for a second. Magic with the major raid. Thank you, Magic. We appreciate you. For those of you who are new here, this is the Third Man podcast presented by yours truly. I have 2 wonderful guests, Dyln from the Georgia State Rocket League team, KoopaTroopa from the UGA Rocket League team. We are currently 40 minutes through this podcast, so Y'all definitely hang around. We're gonna do audience questions at the end, and there's a lot of really interesting stuff that we're going into. So big congrats to Cumberland and Magic finally beating the FSU allegations that they couldn't win against them, finally taking it to 5 in a reverse
Congrats,
sweep.
goats.
In a reverse sweep, that's confirmed. So incredible result for y'all. Very happy
Huge.
for y'all. Yeah. Also in Rocket League news today, Tennessee Knoxville finally beats the Cincinnati allegations, and they win. They win in Cincinnati at their homeland. So
Huge.
big,
I'm so
big
proud of
ups,
those
big
boys.
ups to Joe, Caden, and Crisp, obviously.
Shout outs to
Those guys
them.
are incredible. So very, very happy for them. I'm very, very happy they finally got that land win. So we'll continue. Well, right now we're just finishing up, kind of talking about league and stuff. So
Yeah.
Coop, so you're
So-
you're a starter now, and so the SEL is done. But for you, now that the only confirmed starters are me and you, where do you kind of see, like for example, we still have 2 lands on the table. One we have control over, the other one we do not. Well, we kind of do, but not really. So I'm intrigued to see kind of where you, like, what your goals are, where you envision this team finishing after it took us 3 months to get to a consistent point. I want to hear kind of where you see yourself, and kind of then if you talk about making Volan, I really want to hear how you feel about your first potential land.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I probably should have already had one with that bluegrass one.
You're right.
But it is what it is. Didn't have the experience. Didn't have the ice. The lights were too bright, and that's it is what it is. But as far as GEL goes, and as far as Volan goes, I feel pretty confident about Volan. It's there's no like bad juju that we're having to like get past, like that loss we had against Oglethorpe in GEL, which is kind of hurting us right now and putting us in a spot where we've got to really make something happen, really get it together and surprise some folks. So I think we can honestly, I think we can make both. I think we can make both.
I agree.
Because
Mhm.
I think I've improved a good bit since, especially
Mhm.
since that Oglethorpe match, and
And bluegrass as well.
I, and
It's been a
especially since
long
Bluegrass,
road,
because that's been
long
even
road.
longer.
I
But
can't even
I
put into
think,
words how well this man has improved in the
On
last
God,
like
I'm
2
excited that we
weeks.
finally get to unleash Coop.
It's
I'm really hoping
amazing.
that we end up making this comeback in the midseason, but
Yeah.
we'll see. All right, Coop, you can continue.
yeah, I think we'll make both lands hopefully, and if nothing else, come fall, we're gonna be even stronger. I don't know, who our third's gonna be. If that's gonna be Harry, I know Alamo is graduating this semester, so maybe they're on this podcast. Maybe they'll be on it in the future. I don't know, but hopefully we'll have a really strong third, or someone that we can coach into a really strong third. And if nothing else, come fall, we're gonna be a top team in the Southeast.
Yeah,
So
I love to hear that. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
in a weird way, Coop finally kind of having a player that we've been able to kind of like project LeBron. It's like, because everyone here knows that I have not had the best semester for sure. It's been rough, probably my roughest semester ever, and Rocket League is something that's been a major part of my life. So to finally have a team that seems to be consistent, granted, of course, we're gonna have to do something this summer and look for a new third. Um,
oh yeah.
but yeah, we will see. We will see. I really just hope that we end off solid this year. If that's with Alamo or Harry or both. I do agree. I think we can make lands. I do think we can make the gel land. I think Voland we can for sure do. Voland we might not even have to qualify for. We'll see. If there is enough, I do hope there is enough teams to where we will actually have to win a series and earn it. I do hope so. I would much rather have to earn it than be given it.
Oh yeah.
Just because I feel like that we need that as a school, as a team, going through what we've gone
Oh
through.
yeah. I don't want it handed
Yeah.
over. I want to earn that.
Which if Joe Bro's still in chat, he can tell us. I do want to shout out. We did mention the TED Talk earlier. For those of you who were talking about that, the link to that is up in the chat. I can probably repost it. It's just tedxuga.com. That is this Friday, and you can get online tickets right now. So if you do want to watch that, please do. I will drop that in chat. That's definitely such a crazy thing that's been happening in my life. Shout out Neon for getting the website. Um, but yeah, so again, not about me. This is about y'all. So we will continue on. Um, so lands on the table. How do you feel about actually going to one and playing Koop?
I'm so excited. Like I want it. I want it really bad, man. Because again, I feel like I sold the bluegrass one. I feel like I
It
sold the
What
bluegrass
definitely
one.
was not
So,
solely your fault. Definitely was a team effort.
but I mean, if nothing else, GEL and Volan kind of feel like if we were to get those, it would almost be like redemption. You know,
Yes.
like
Yes.
getting it back and just really being able like having a chance to prove like that was a one-time thing. I was an experienced and if we can get to at least one of these, hopefully both, that would be huge both for the confidence and the experience. So I want it.
Yeah, I respect that. Um, One thing, I'm currently modding Twitch chat as I'm saying this, so don't mind me. Um, but yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I definitely want it as well. Um, I mean, for me, again, like we've talked about my career plenty of times. I mean, I have had a very storied career, one that I'm very happy with, but I have yet to, like, I do have a collegiate land win. It's got a slight asterisk on it because of the way it was done in Atlanta from a multi-center. It was a little weird. So I do hope that we get the chance to at least go and make a final or to make a top 4 run or make a top 8 run. We do play Bruton Parker this Tuesday. We play GSU in a week or two. We obviously couldn't.
Play?
Yeah, in gel. Yeah, we obviously couldn't upset. We couldn't upset KSU. We went to 2 overtimes with them, and we arguably should have won that one, but happens. So.
Arguably is a stretch. You definitely should have.
Yeah, we're not
But
gonna
it's
get in.
okay.
We're not gonna get into that game and the game 2 incident. We're not gonna get into that. So, so to the audience, we're gonna have questions in just a second. We're wrapping up a few things. All right. So very briefly, because this is not what this episode's about, but it is something that's happening in literally 3 days. Let's talk about RLCS.
Oh, baby.
Very briefly, because we can obviously yap all night about this. I'm going to
For
start with you,
sure.
Dyln, because I know your ball knowledge is out of this world. So,
Yes.
obviously, you look at Swiss Stage. There's a lot of incredible teams. Um, I mean, it's weird the way that RLCS is doing it because everybody has to go through Swiss Stage. Nobody just survives and moves on. So, I'm intrigued to kind of hear your brief predictions, and what I mainly want to hear is your top 4.
Top 4. Okay, so all right. So first and foremost, I think everybody needs a good reminder about who Raisbull is. All right. There has not been enough talk about this complexity team, and it has irked me. Everybody got them out going, what, eighth, not even making it out of Swiss. It's ridiculous. Y'all forget that they took Carmine to game 7. They took Vitality to game 5. Almost stopped that whole 3 land or 2 land win streak before it even started. Y'all need to put some respect on the Bulls' name. All right. Firstly. All right. Secondly, top 4. Immediately give me Carmine. This team looks flawless. Like, even when they lose, they win. They reverse swept BDS in an arguably done deal series by them. And who else are we talking about? I got G2. G2 is definitely North America's most interesting team. They're best, but interesting. They play in a way that's so well catered to beating NA teams that I'm not sure how they'll do against EU, but I do feel confident that they'll be able to take it. They'll win the series that they're supposed to, and they can probably take it to Carmine and definitely the Vitalities, the BDSs. Speaking of, I have BDS in the top 4 as well. BDS is second to Carmine. Um, People will argue about Vitality day in and day out. They are not the same team that they were whenever they won Worlds. They just simply aren't. They don't play the same. They don't have the same trust that they did. They don't have the same speed that they did. They still have Zen, but Zen isn't the same Zen that he was. People aren't as afraid of Zen as they are where they were when he first came on the scene. And you can see that in the way that Carmine does not give them space. BDS didn't give them space. They I'm not even going to talk about the Game 7 incident against Gentlemates, but they're a great team. But personally, I got the Falcons over them. And
Ooh.
I want everybody to remember that Falcons almost beat a very hot Moist Esports whenever they were on their top. And mind you, that was Rise, Joyo, and Vatira. Rise and Vatira currently being 2 top 5 players in the league right now, at least in my opinion. And Joyo being continuously shafted over and over by rosters.
Yep.
No disrespect to Rezi and Oli, but Joyo deserves to be on a top 4 team, and that is undoubtable. But I think that this Rawas, Kalirs, and TRK combo is literally just a 100% upgrade from the original Falcons roster, because everything that Ahmad was good at, Rawas does better. Everything that Khaled was known for, being smart, being very tactical with his gameplay, Kalirs does better. And TRK is literally balling. Like, this guy looks like, I don't know, bro. He looked like LeBron out there. Like, it's crazy the work that he's able to put in. And I think that team, that MENA team, is going to be able to take down anybody if they're on, because if their ceiling seems almost limitless. Not necessarily, and like you can make the same argument for Karmine Corp, but the MENA teams, they just play differently. They play ball differently, and I think that when they show out on LAN, they're going to be crazy. But that's just me though.
Yeah. One thing to note about LAN is that there's only 7 series in front of a crowd at this event.
Blasphemous.
Yeah,
Blasphemous.
we're not gonna break into that too much, because obviously my whole Twitter following knows how much I'm disappointed in this game. We're not gonna break into that too much, because we're gonna be here all night. So just straight up, Dyln, your top 4. Remind us exactly who it is.
I got G2.
So G2 winning it?
Oh, winning.
Yeah, like go in order. Yeah.
Go in order. Okay. Oh, I got NA bias. Give me G2 winning. Give me a Karmine second. I mean, I feel like that's just too. It's a script, but it's a
bold choice.
It's a valid script.
All right.
I got Falcons.
Ooh, yeah, third?
I do have Falcons third.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have BDS falling. I think Monkey Moon tilts really easily.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like him being at a low, it's a, what is it? Oh no, it's single elim. So it would be, I'd assume G2 versus Falcons, and then Karmine versus BDS. Yeah. Definitely. G2's beating Falcons. Karmine's beating BDS. Monkey Moon's going to tilt his way out of a tournament after a Game 2 overtime loss. Mark my words. Okay. G2 is going to go to a close Game 6, and it's going to have some crazy beast mode atomic pre-jump passing play through mid.
Game 6, write that down.
Game 6, like 2.5 overtime. And then the finals is going to go to Game 7. And it's going to be some miraculous play by G2 in the last like 11 seconds with some crazy 4-touch passing play. 2 of the touches are in the air, and they're going to win the whole series. And it's going to be crazy. And it's going to be back on top. There's going to be no more discussion. I'm here for it.
Okay. Bold choices. I'm going to very briefly give my top 4. And then I'm going to let Koop go to his. I'm not going to really explain mine. I'm just going to throw it out there. I got Karmine Corp winning. I just think they're untouchable. I wish NA was back, but we are not back yet. There's a lot more that NA needs, like in terms of rookies getting involved in the scene, in terms of roster moves to stop being so bad. So I got Karmine. Unfortunately, I do think that it's going to be an all EU final. So I think we're going to see Karmine and Vitality. I do think that Vitality roster finally picks up the pieces, especially after losing Farah. I feel like Zen needed that desperately as a young player, so I feel like he finally picks up his own thing. I do think that Vitality upsets BDS, so I do think we get a EU, we get 3 EU teams, and then I'm going to be completely honest. I'm rooting for Chaos. I got Genji over G2 making it to that semifinal.
Not ridiculous.
So that is my upset pick, quote unquote. I don't think that MENA makes top 4. I do think that Falcons makes top 8. And I think to do that, they're going to upset a team like Complexity or a team like Gentlemates. I think they can handle that. And then I want to see a South American team make it. I would love to see Yannick's back on top 8. I would love to see Furia make
Get
that
him
run.
back.
I mean, he's looked incredible. I mean, he looked incredible in the World Championship. I'm waiting on them to return to that form. I do have a little bit of bias as an APAC, or no, sorry, as an SSA caster. I do think that SSA gets more than one series win on LAN this time.
You have them beating not Elevate?
Yes. So we'll have Limitless
Really?
beating Elevate +1.
Are you is that plus one going to be an OCE team, or is it going to be?
I'm gonna throw Power under the bus. Actually, sorry, I'm gonna throw Pioneers under the bus.
Say Power?
Sorry,
Really?
I'm gonna throw Pioneers under the
Rub
bus.
Anderson
I think
Fiber.
they sell. I don't know. I'm just not liking
That's
their
not
odds. So
ridiculous.
I
Trip
think
Pioneers down.
SSA finally gets a big. I think SSA finally beats a quote unquote middle / major region. That's my prediction because
try to call OCE a major region.
well, OCE's bigger than SSA. Like OCE
Bro.
and SAM are like
geographically, yeah, but like
no, like support wise, they are in a higher place. SSA doesn't even get an RLCS official stream.
No, that's true.
And APAC doesn't get anything. They get
Shout out
only
to
team
Greybeard, by the
streams.
way. Greybeard's
Yeah,
the
shout out to Greybeard. He was extremely nice when I first started casting in that region. So shout out him. He was a big help. All right, Koop. Top 4. Let's run through it, and then we're gonna do audience questions.
I got Carmine. I just don't think there's any team that can compete with them right now. I'm hoping that NA is moving in the right direction, but I think that NA at the pro level kind of needs to do what y'all been doing with me. They need to start bringing some people up, bro. And this, I got them beating. I'll say it's probably gonna be either Gen G or G2. I'll say G2 second, just because they've been dominating North America, so I see that. And then I got Falcons top 4 as well, and then either Complexity or BDS.
Complexity
or
BDS.
I'll be interested. I'll keep it interesting. I'm gonna say Complexity is top 4, and I think BDS gets 5th through 8th.
Okay.
I think
that.
I respect
5th through 8th
that.
is gonna be BDS, Gen G, 1, and either Luminosity or Furia.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to see Luminosity. That's like a fan favorite for me. I hope Luminosity does well.
True.
I don't think they will. I hope that Reddles and Magic Bear finally pick up the pieces as teammates, like at a very, very high level, not just making the major, obviously. But we'll see. So, okay, I'm going to open the floor up for audience questions. We'll take a few, talk through them, explain them. So, obviously, again, while the audience is putting in their questions in chat, to the viewers,
please don't ask about my camera.
Yeah, we'll get there when we get there. To the audio listeners on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you're listening from, you could be here. You could be here live, asking questions and responding to our wonderful guest. That is twitch.tv/DJTJRL. So do follow, do be here Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll be here every night, same time, same place. And if you want to join the podcast, you can do that through the Twitch chat as well. There's an exclamation mark command for the podcast. It is simply exclamation mark podcast. Neon has just gotten all the links of these wonderful guests. Those links will also be on the description of this podcast. So if you're viewing from Apple Music, you're viewing from Spotify, you can find all of us in the description of this episode. So with that, we got a few questions. It's first from Neon. He's got a few. So we'll start with his third question. He says, if you had to change to another game, what game and why? And Koop, I'll let you start.
I'm not like that with pretty much any other game. I'm like middle of the pack in a couple of games, but man, maybe if I had to not play Rocket League, probably either chess or I don't even know, like maybe Siege.
Alma pre-jumped you. You just got pre-jumped. Chess?
I didn't know
I'm not even like. Oh yeah, I mean, again, I'm not incredible at it, but like
you dabble.
I
but
do.
you could, yeah, you
exactly.
Dabble. You dabble.
I dabble in it. It's a lot of fun.
What's your chess
So
rating?
in rapid, I think right now I'm like 1100. So nothing incredible. I'm not like close to being a GM or an NM or anything like that. But I come up with some brilliance every now and then.
Okay, I'll
I
give you that.
respect the
So
chess player.
chess and Rainbow Six. All right, Dyln, I'm gonna throw it to you. A game that if Rocket League disappears, which hey, at this rate could happen at any moment,
Very, very good.
where would you go? And I will say it doesn't have to be competitive. It could be just what you want to learn, or maybe what you want to just have fun with. So I'll throw it to you.
I'll tell you this right now. If I took the hours I put into Rocket League and I put that into Rainbow Six, I would be like probably close to professional. So
Mm.
like for perspective, I'm Diamond. I'm Diamond 5, but I also play the
Diamond
game.
1.
I played the I played the game every other season, and I moved to PC like a year ago, and I went from like gold on console to diamond, and for the record, I hit like plat 1 before rank 2.0 was a thing. So I was like a decent player before that, but like in the most non dickhead ego way possible. I have a lot of game sense and mechanical skill with that game, and I would feel very confident in my ability to take my skills that I put into not put my Rocket League skills, but the time and learning ability from Rocket League into Siege, and I could go really far with it. I think I could do
I respect it.
If we're adding non-competitive ability as well, there's a
Mm-hmm.
game that I really want to come back, but I don't think it will. It's called the Cycle Frontier. It's an extraction shooter that
Ah,
I freaking love. It's probably my favorite game, maybe ever,
okay.
more so than Rocket
I
League.
respect.
So
So let's very quickly keep moving down the question list. So both of you are collegiate players. How many hours of practice do y'all put in? But the main question here is, how do you balance practice, school, work, and social life? Coop, I'm gonna let you start.
So that's been something I've been learning this semester. Because I bit off a lot more than I could chew. Um, I told you this, TJ, the other day. This week I had to drop a class because
Same here.
of there were a bunch of different factors that went into it, but I simply just did not have the time the time for it, and it was more than I had bargained for. So that was a big part of it. Um, But as far as balancing everything goes, my priority first is work and experience. And I've got 2 internships right now and a third job that's like just every now and then. So it's not as consistent. But that's kind of the thing with like my major being journalism and like being a reporter and a writer and all that stuff. It's not always consistent. Like I'm not clocking in from 8 to 5, or like I don't go to class and then go straight to work from like 5 to close or anything like that. So it's a little bit different, and it's a little bit more flexible. Especially being an intern, I can kind of pick like what days that I work and which days that I want to keep open. Um, and then yeah, I find time in between for getting Rocket League practice in, and even some just for fun stuff every now and then playing Siege or chess. And so yeah, I get like I think I'm sitting at like 50 or 60 past 2. I go back and forth in between those. Um so yeah, that's kind of how it is. It's not easy, but it's doable if you take the right steps and make sure you get your priorities in check. So
Yeah, I think many of us follow a similar schedule of starting class later, like before lunch or around lunch, and then classwork, eating, extracurriculars of any kind. Like some of us do intramurals and stuff. That's probably a little much for some people, but that's something which or you're doing schoolwork in that case, and then work, or you maybe flip those around. And normally gaming is a late night thing, hence why we start class later in the day. I think many of us follow that schedule. I'm sure a lot of the players in chat can relate to that as well. But Dylan, I'll let you talk on your schedule a little bit.
All right. So in case it wasn't apparent, I just got off work. I worked a 10 to 6 today, and I know I said I just got off, but it was more like I woke up at 8:30, went to work at 9, I left the house at 9, got to work, worked from 10 to 6, came home, did a bit of homework, played the game for like 30 minutes with my boy because he, asked me to. And then I hopped on the podcast, still on the podcast. And actually, as we were waiting to start the podcast, I was taking a quiz for something that's due tonight. And I still have stuff that's due tonight at
Ouch.
midnight that I haven't started yet.
Grinder though.
But I'm gonna get it done because that's what I do. But it is a very interesting balance. I mean, I work mostly weekends, which leaves my weekdays pretty free. But I go to class I don't go into class too often. I actually take 2 online courses this semester, or 3 online courses this semester, 2 in person. So my in person days are Monday and Wednesdays. Was like 11 to 2:30. Not too long, but it is a chunk out of the day. And then I also work some of those days. So it really just depends. But for the most part, I make a pretty decent balance of working, so I have good money, and then getting enough time and practice in so that I'm still improving every week, and also trying to balance the social life. Thankfully, and this is a blessing and a curse, I'm an introvert. So my need to be out and about all the time is very minuscule, which means that I can stay home and value the time that I spend home a lot, which makes that very easy. I know some people, like, they literally perish at the idea of not being able to go out once every couple of days. And I'm like, I'm glad that's not my fight because I don't think I could do it. But
Fair point.
yeah, I don't know. Just been balancing a lot of school this semester, trying to get grades right and all that, open up my opportunities and all that. But it's been worth it in the end. I mean, I've gotten to experience a lot of dope things and feel really confident. I don't know, just in life in general. So it's been a healthy balance for the most part.
Yeah. So one more question, because we do we've already hit more than an hour, which I'm very happy with as for the first episode, but I don't want to be here forever. So there's 2 questions to pick from. By the way, the person's question that you just answered is one of my high school students that I'm coaching. So appreciate your insight on being a collegiate player and how you do it, especially as someone as smart as him who may end up at UGA or Tech. It gets hard. So thank you for your insight there. All right, so I got one more question. I think this is the one that applies to you guys the most. So I want you to kind of speed run this one, like in a sentence or two. Favorite moments from your Rocky League careers, and I'll throw it back to Dyln.
I'm gonna 100% say those kids coming up to me, literally, like mirror image of me being excited to like watch RCS and wanting to meet these people and get better to play like them. And now these kids are going to, or at least they said they want to improve to play like me. Absolutely surreal. Literally almost cried. Awesome moment.
Yeah. All right, Koop, goes to you.
Definitely so far last semester getting our get back, the UGA Red B team getting our get back, and then winning the whole thing. That was a really good feeling. And then honestly, I also put up the end of that bluegrass qual because it, even though it wasn't great, it has given me a lot of drive, and like I'm not gonna let that be like my career or like
Yeah.
the statement game or whatever. So
Heck yeah. Yeah, it's inspirational. I'll throw mine in there too, just because why not? In high school, we lost 3 straight state championships before we won 2 in a row. I'm gonna throw that in there. That was probably the most relieved I felt in my entire life. Some of the people in this chat were there at that event, and you could hear me from outside the arena. I'm sure those clips are gonna be posted somewhere, and I'll probably throw them in Twitter or something soon, anyways. But yeah, I'll throw mine in there because why not? But guys, that's all we got. I do wish that we could do this again. I'm sure there will be a follow-up episode down the road, probably over the summer. We'll probably try and get something together, kind of get a little post reflection of y'all's first seasons as starters. But other than that, guys, it's been an incredible experience. This is the first episode of Third Man, presented by yours truly. Dyln and Koop, you guys have been incredible guests. I'll give you just a quick few sentences to say what you want before we pass it off. Sorry, Dyln, yeah, you can start.
Okay. Let's say thank you for having us on, man. It's been dope. Fantastic being here. It's awesome to get to share a little bit about myself on the platform, have a good time, talk about our RLCS, our college stuff and all that. It's been dope. I look forward to possibly being on here again and seeing more podcasts in the future. Thank you, big man.
All right, Koop.
like you said, thanks for letting us on here. It's been a lot of fun. Can't wait to hopefully do this again, like he said. And let's go dogs. Let's go dogs.
Nah, bro. Panther diff.
Y'all, you
Don't
can't even say that. You gotta say buds.
That's true. Let's diff.
Well, guys, it's been a pleasure. If you want to join the podcast, there's a link in my Twitch channel or my Twitch chat. All you gotta do is do !podcast here at twitch.tv/DJTJRL. You can find every episode here Sunday at 9 p.m. But other than that, this has been the pilot episode of Third Man. It's been a pleasure. Everybody have a great night, and we will see y'all next week. Same time, same place. Y'all have a great night.
Great night, everybody.